So you're planning on moving to South Florida. Maybe you've always dreamt about it. Maybe you're tired of the cold winters, or maybe you're moving for work. Whatever the reason, I know that the idea of moving can be pretty overwhelming. So to help make your move as easy and stress-free as possible, we're going to go over 7 things that you'll need to do and consider before moving here to South Florida. So stay tuned. What's up everyone, it's Tanner, back again with another video all about sunny South Florida. And if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know all about working, eating, sleeping, playing, and living in Fort Lauderdale and the surrounding areas here in Florida, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell so you get notified every time I do a new video. And if you're even thinking about moving, you've got to reach out to me. All my contact info is down in the description, or if you want to book a call with me directly, go to callwithtj.com where you can pick out whatever time of day works best with your schedule. All right, so you did it. You decided that you're gonna make the big move here to South Florida. And chances are, if you're from another state or even another country, you've probably been here on vacation a time or two. But if you haven't, not to worry. I just wanted to note that living here in South Florida is gonna be a different experience than vacationing here. When you come here on vacation, it's a temporary stay. So for example, if the hotel or Airbnb you booked for vacation didn't quite meet your expectations, it's not really that big of a deal. But that won't be the case if you commit to buying a home or even if you're planning on renting, because a typical lease term here in Florida is 1 year. So the first thing you want to make sure you do is research. Moving is a big transition, so it's really important that you have some knowledge about the area. So how do you do that? First, you should check out some of my other videos here on my channel. But for example, you'll want to find out all about the different neighborhoods and the cities that you'll be considering. Research the general costs of living in the area, find out what there is to do for fun, places to eat, things to see, all that stuff, so you can pick an area that best fits your ideal lifestyle. And knowing all of these things in advance will not only ease some of that moving stress, but it's also going to make settling into your new home a lot smoother once you get here. If you do the research ahead of time, you'll practically feel like a local on your first day in town. The second thing goes hand in hand with the research, but it may or may not be realistic depending on your current situation. But if you have the ability to visit first before you move, I highly recommend that you do it. If you can take at least a week or two, come down, check out the city, experience it as a resident rather than someone vacationing, you'll get a true sense of whether or not the city or even a specific neighborhood that you're interested in is truly going to be a place you want to live. And also, if you have a family member or friend that already lives locally, that would be ideal because not only would you have a free place to stay, but they could also provide you with some local knowledge and tips about the areas. However, if you don't know anyone here, that's completely okay. I've helped people find vacation rentals and short-term rentals like Airbnbs in the neighborhoods that they're considering moving to. So we can do a little tour around the city and I can even give you some recommendations as well. Doing this gives you a good feel for the community, and most importantly, if for some reason you find that you don't like it as much as you thought, you won't be stuck living in a house in an area that you hate. So the third thing is plan out your work situation. If you own your own business or your current job is relocating you, that's the best case scenario because you won't have to worry about finding employment. As for the rest of us, it's really important to research the job market based on what you want to do or what you're planning to do for work. So I'd say if you're planning on being in the hospitality industry or the healthcare field, you can basically live anywhere here in South Florida and have work close by. But if you're in something like the yachting industry, for example, you'll want to do some research and find out where those places of employment will be in relation to the city or the neighborhood that you're planning to live, because the last thing you want to do is move down only to figure out you have an hour or more commute every day to and from work. And I think we can probably agree that that's not really an ideal situation to put yourself in. Number 4 is something that a lot of people tend to overlook, but it's super important to get your vital information transferred and your accounts updated. And by vital information, I'm talking about you and your family's medical records, and if you have children, their school records as well. You can start looking and doing some research for healthcare providers and new schools in the area, but even if you don't have all of these picked out before you move, it's still important that you contact your current doctor, dentist, and schools to see what the process is going to entail. Now, hopefully all of the record keeping is electronic, but some of the offices are still using paper. So you're going to want to find out what their processes are and how long it's going to take those records to get transferred. In addition to medical records, you're going to want to research the area to make sure your current bank has branches down here in South Florida. If they don't, plan on opening new accounts with local banks here in the area, and while you're at it, don't forget to take care of any safety deposit boxes if you have them. Now, the 5th thing you'll want to plan for is your vehicle. Can you live in South Florida without a vehicle? Sure, it's possible, but our public transit isn't known for being the best, so if you aren't planning on having a vehicle, you're probably going to find that it's going to be very inconvenient for you. Now, for those of you that do have cars, are you planning to drive it down from your current state, or are you possibly going to get it shipped rather than driving it? Or maybe it makes more sense financially to sell it and purchase another vehicle once you get down here. These are all things to consider, and you'll want to have a plan before you move. So what you could do is calculate the distance, how much it's going to cost in fuel, your time, and wear and tear on the car. Compare that to the cost of a shipping service, and then again, if you're going to plan on selling it, make sure you give yourself enough time to actually get it sold. For example, if you're moving on Wednesday, but you put your car up for sale on a Monday, chances are you're not going to find the right buyer in 2 days. So give yourself enough time so you don't have to sell it for less than what it's worth. Another thing regarding vehicles is insurance. You're going to want to shop around and get quotes for auto insurance in South Florida. And let me tell you, it's not cheap, and chances are you'll probably be paying more down here than where you currently live. So it's always a good idea to prepare and budget for that. Number 6 is plan on how you're getting your belongings down here to your new home in South Florida. Are you going to do it yourself? Are you hiring a moving company? What should you take and what should you leave behind? There are quite a few things to think about, but I do have a whole video right up there about how to save money throughout the moving process. So check that one out after this video. Moving on to number 7, which is the outdoors. If you don't like outdoor activities, South Florida might not be the right fit for you. Due to the weather here, a lot of our activities and things to do involve being outdoors or being on the water. I mean, can you blame us? I couldn't imagine being stuck in the house all winter long or freezing every time I step outside. But that being said, you need to be prepared for the heat. So hopefully you already have some tolerance for hot weather because it's pretty hot all year round. But the hot season lasts for about 4 months from June all the way through September, where the daily highs are going to be around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you account for the humidity, it's going to be well over 100 degrees. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Fort Lauderdale or anywhere in South Florida, make sure you reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you and help you any way that I can. Check out some of these other videos, and remember, I've got your back when moving.